Hey guys, it's Eden, obviously. Unless you're new here, it's not obvious. Hi, it's me. So, first of all, I want to say that I'm a bit wheezy at the moment. It's been raining like crazy in Texas, which kicks up the mold, which kicks up my allergies, which makes me wheeze. So, sorry about that, allergy lady here. 2 weeks ago, I started yoga teacher training, and I know a lot of you guys are going to think it's out of nowhere, and some people are like, well, why did you keep it a secret? I didn't. So if you remember back, rewind back to the beginning of the year, it was actually one of my New Year's resolutions. So it started I guess back in like November, December. I talked about it in length on the podcast, and then I talked about it a little bit I think maybe I talked about it kind of in length in a what I ate in a day video too. Which one? Not sure. I really should have cataloged those videos better. But anyhow, it's been something that's been on my mind for about over a year, and something that was a goal of mine to either get certified in yoga or get certified in Zumba, which I still think I'm going to do. That might be a next year thing, since I'm focusing on yoga teacher training at the moment. The reason that I didn't share it right away is because it ended up being a pretty last second decision. The reason being because of my ankle. So I wasn't sure if my ankle was going to be ready before the end of the year to start any kind of training, honestly. It's still not 100%, but I had to wait until the 1st of September to get clearance to work out on it on a consistent basis, which I can do, but I have to wear a brace. It has a special name. Basically, it keeps your ankle from like collapsing in when you had or have had an ankle injury. So it like holds it straight up so that it doesn't tilt either way. It just like provides stability for your ankle. So I got cleared for that on the 1st, and there was kind of a big drama around which training I was going to do. So the training I wanted to do, which I ended up ultimately getting into, was full. So I had a second school that I really liked, so I signed up for that school. I wasn't really confident with my decision. It was a 10-week program, which I'll tell you about my actual program in a little bit. It was, sorry, my best friend's trying to get comfortable over here, so she's making a lot of huffing and noises. So it was a 10-week program. I was like, okay, I'll do the 10-week program. I do really love the person that's teaching this training. She's really kind, and she just has this heart that you can like see from a mile away. She's a great person to learn from, but I was a bit conflicted because her studio is so expensive, and it makes yoga seem like this elitist thing that only certain levels of like financial status can afford. And even though I really wanted to learn from her, I had a problem kind of getting certified at her studio. So it was September 7th, I'm looking at the calendar, and I got an email from the program that I really wanted into, which was an 11-month program, which seems really long. I know it's 200 hours either way you do it. There are many different tracks you can take for teacher training. Most studios do a July teacher training, which is about 25 days. You cram the 200 hours into that. I feel like I couldn't retain enough knowledge in that time. I even feel like 10 weeks is short for me, for my personal learning style. I like a very immersive kind of program, so I feel like I've mastered something at the end, and I like the dedication of 11 months. So on the 7th, which was the day before my 10-week program was supposed to start, my preferred program emailed me and let me know that they opened up a few more spots. So I called my other program, let them know, 1, that I didn't feel like it was going to be long enough for me, 2, that 10 weeks was going to be really intensive for my ankle that was just barely cleared to work out. So they refunded me. I lost my $500 deposit, which whatever. And then I signed up for my current program, which was one of the first yoga studios that I ever attended. They're really inclusive. I still think they have a bit of a way to go, some of their teachers, as far as modification goes, but they're donation-based yoga studios so that it's accessible to a lot more people. They're very community driven, so they do a lot of yoga in the park and yoga at Whole Foods, and just the kind of yoga that I want to be involved in. So I got into that program. I told them that I had already signed up for another program. They were gracious enough to give me like the early bird rate. So it was like $300 less than the standard rate. So then in the long run, I really only lost about $200 because yoga teacher training is very expensive. My GoFundMe, just kidding, I'm paying for it out of my pocket. It's an expense, and it's something that can cost anywhere from, depending on where you live, $2,800 to $4,400. And I am taking a second certification as well in yin yoga, which starts in the end of November. I am getting trained in yin yoga as well. So those are the two trainings I'm taking. One's a 200-hour course, which is what you have to do to become a registered yoga instructor, and then the other one is a 30-hour training, which is like a specialized study. So those are the two trainings I'm taking. Now, for the reason that I decided to take yoga teacher training, for you guys that don't know, I just, like most things I do in life, I kind of stumble into them because I feel like there just isn't enough diversity in a lot of things. I feel like the fitness industry is one of those, and I feel like yoga's, it is fitness, but it's also like a mind-body connection that a lot of people are lapsing. And for bigger people especially, they go into yoga and you'll see the blocks and you'll see the straps, and the teacher will say, if you're a beginner, grab them. But maybe some of you guys have had different experiences in studios. So I'd grab them, and then they would never tell me what to do with them for the whole class. And I just want to be able to really dive into modifications for yoga, not only for bigger body folks, but for people that may not be as flexible, for people that may not be fully abled. And of course I'm going to teach traditional yoga classes as well, but I just want to be a voice of diversity and inclusivity and empowerment, because sometimes I don't like when people look at me and go, well, if she can do it, I can do it. But on the other hand, I also like people to know, if I can do it, you can do it. You know what I mean? I think my friend Dana from Do the Hot Pants had said something on Twitter about that. Like, it's dehumanizing to look at someone and be like, oh, if their big giant body can do it, then my skinny body can definitely do it. But I do think that there's some encouragement in bigger bodies seeing bodies like theirs doing movements so that they know that it's possible. I get comments on me doing like handstands and wheel poses and things on Instagram, like, oh, I never looked at my body and thought that it would be possible for me to do these types of things. And I just want to be able to show that it's possible. And I know that I have a very unique voice and things that I can offer. So those are the reasons that I really want to become an instructor, but not necessarily the reasons I'm taking training. The reason I'm taking training is like solely as a student. I want to grow in my own practice. I want to learn yoga philosophy. I want to learn more about anatomy and physiology, which I do know a good deal about because I was a medical assistant for quite a while. A lot of you guys know that. I just want to dive deeper into that and kind of refresh my brain on those types of things, because I do really want to help people transform their lives. I get so many messages, and I have, I was doing coaching up until the beginning of this month because yoga teacher training started, and that's gonna keep me kind of busy. And I hear so many personal stories of people, how they just don't feel like they can rise above their circumstances, or how they can overcome challenges or change habits in order to live a better life. And I feel like fitness, especially yoga, something that is like the ease and the effort, it's like that balance, the yin and the yang, if you will, of those two things can really be the gateway that people need to kind of cross over into that elevated style of life. I'm getting very hippie. I'm aware. The main questions I've been getting on Instagram, I'm gonna read some of them. Most of them are from Birmingham Vegan. Hey. Was how did it come about? I've always wanted to do, well, not always, but since my big weight loss and just having the experience of always being the biggest person in a class, sometimes being able, and then sometimes seeing other big bodies come in and not being as able, and noticing that like if the bigger person in the room couldn't do jump squats, the solution was just march in place, which that shouldn't be the modification for jump squats. Just knowing that there aren't enough modifications, because instructors that have been thin most of their lives or have had some struggles with weight, but it's only losing 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, not losing 100, 120 or more pounds, just don't know what to do with our bodies. And I just think there need to be more people that have been in that place, or that are in that place, to show modifications that actually give you like a better range of motion, that help you modify in a way that you can work towards the actual posture or move or whatever it is. Just knowing that no one really thinks about it if that's not their reality is why a lot of bigger people end up being afraid to go to gyms, or they go once and they have this experience that I look at and I'm like, no, there has to be more. They look at it as like, this clearly isn't for me and there's no one to help me. I just want to be that person that can help if that's what people want. The second question was I doing yoga before? So yes, not like my typical workout routine before was dance 3 times a week, yoga on Sundays. So I was doing yoga on Sundays pretty consistently. Sometimes I do an additional drop-in class here or there if I had like a different dance day. But yes, doing yoga pretty consistently. But I feel like I'm a beginner again because I've been off of my ankle for so long, which in some ways, one of my instructors likes to say healing is a teacher, because sometimes I have to like really dig deep and say, how do I make this work for me? When before I would have been able to go straight into the posture. Now a little bit of my flexibility has been lost, and some of the postures just aren't working for me the way that they used to. And I know that I'll get there, but I feel like there's a lot of beauty in having to almost start over, because it's so weird with fitness. You can be like, feel like the fittest person in the room, and then you take 6 weeks off. Some people, you know, you take 2 weeks off from the gym and you're like, whew, I don't remember this being so hard. So I'm actually really thankful for my injury, and I think that it's gonna help me grow, and I think that it's gonna help my classmates grow as well, to see like, there's one other girl that just started that has a little bit more meat too, just to be able to see the additional bodies and see the way that we modify. I think that there are 33 teachers in there, there's 35 of us total, that there are 33 teachers in there that are going to walk out with a different view on yoga because we're in the class. You know, they're going to have that experience and have like, you know, a first-hand person that they know and that they've known for 11 months, and that they see how they modify, and that hopefully they'll understand the importance of that. So I'm really thankful for that, and I'm hoping that the other 33 teachers in my training take that with them as well. Also, what made me take the plunge to start teacher training now? I have the time. I'm taking an 11-month course. We go 1 day a week, and then we practice 3 times a week. So in total, it's like 3 to 4 times a week. that I'm at the studio. But now having the time and having an injury and really making me think about modifications, that all made me take the plunge, which before I hurt my ankle, I probably would have continued to do yoga for myself, but I would have probably done Zumba and kept on the high impact train. But now that I've had an injury, I feel like flexibility and balance are so much more important to me, and I want to be able to teach that. So really what made me take the plunge, having the time, experiencing an injury, and really understanding how much low impact strength training can be beneficial, how beneficial balance and flexibility can be for healing and for the body as well. So that's all part of why I took the plunge now. It wasn't just to make sure that I met my New Year's resolution by starting teacher training before the end of the year, which that was in the back of my mind, but not the reason. And the last question is, am I wanting to teach classes? Absolutely. I want to teach classes, but I don't know if I want to teach them like at a studio here in Austin or not. I would like, eventually, I do want to teach classes here in Austin, but ultimately that's not my goal. I would like to travel more to kind of survey you guys on your cities and come teach classes in your cities, have yoga studios allow me to teach a class there, be able to come visit with you guys and do like little mini retreats. It would just be like a yoga class and a lunch maybe, chat afterwards to see how yoga feels for you and like things that I can help you with in fitness. And that's what I would like to do, really travel with it and obviously incorporate it into my YouTube channel as well for those people that can't get to major cities and that maybe aren't comfortable in the gym yet but want the benefits of yoga. And I want to teach more donation-based classes and teach kid classes and teach classes in areas where yoga isn't really something that area thinks they more inner city kind of areas where it's not as prevalent. So that's what I want to do once I'm finished with training. So I've done 2 weeks of training so far out of my long 11 months, and I've met so many beautiful souls. I'm really excited to get to know 34 amazing people over the next 11 months. And I've gotten actually a lot of messages from bigger people that do yoga saying that they want to do yoga teacher training, but they want to wait until they have certain postures down or want to wait until they've lost some weight or whatever it is. And my advice is to just start. Especially if you're doing a long course like I am. I'm doing an 11-month course, so there's tons of time to grow and to evolve in your personal practice. But the community that I found in my class, everyone's so supportive that I don't think having every posture down is what matters, because that's not what the practice is about in general, and not every practice has to be headstands and crow poses. That's not going to benefit everyone. So I think you going and meeting yourself where you are is enough. I don't think you have to be at a certain place in order to start. You're still going to learn as much. Your knowledge isn't going to change because of your body size, and you can continue to grow after training as well. Even if you end up taking a shorter course, like a 10-week course or something like that, you'll still be able to evolve in time. So I would say just start, because off of the top of my head I can only think of maybe 10 to 12, at least on social media, plus size yoga instructors. And if we just think United States, 12 out of 50 states, that's not enough. It's just not enough for representation, and it's not enough for the people that probably need you as an example. So I would say just to go out and do it. I do want to share some of my favorite plus size yoga accounts. This isn't all of the plus size yoga accounts. There are more. And some of the bigger accounts don't post as regularly as the smaller accounts. So I'm probably going to be sharing more small accounts. But here are a few that I really love. Dana Falsetti, you guys all know her. Nola Trees. She also has an online yoga platform called Practice with Dana. I love her. She's a bigger body but a smaller, bigger body. So if you're kind of like an in-betweeny and maybe you don't need as many props, she's a good one to follow because she does give modifications on how to make more space for all sizes. My sweet friend Jessica, Round the Way Gal on Instagram, we're twin bodies, like exact same body. She teaches a class in Southern California, and she does a lot of things on her Instagram as well. She's already a registered 200-hour yoga teacher, so definitely follow my lovely Jessica. Fat Girl for the Fit Soul. Oh my gosh. I'm geeking. She only has about 1,000 subscribers, but she's on this mission to hike a trail in every US state. And she's a bigger girl and she's just like freaking killing it. I'm so in awe of her. She does these hikes that I can't imagine doing, mostly because I'm a scaredy cat and I always think I'm gonna fall. I'm clumsy, but love her. Fat Girl for the Fit Soul. Laura Burns. Laura Burns is a 200-hour yoga teacher as well. She's located in Houston, Texas. She teaches, I think, 2 classes a week, one on a Wednesday and one on a day that's not Wednesday. She also teaches hoop yoga, which is a yoga fusion class. She's a larger plus body, so very good to watch if you're over like a size 24 and you're like, okay, I've seen a lot of yoga instructors that are bigger but they don't have the belly that I have, or whatever it may be. She teaches gentle and restorative yoga. I think that it's a great place to start if you're getting into practice. She does amazing flows on her YouTube channel, and I really love Laura. Bevan! I love Bevan as well. Queer Fat Femme on Instagram. Fat Queer Femme? Queer Fat Femme. She teaches a class called Fat Kid Dance Party. She plans on bringing it to the web very soon. She teaches in California, but she also just got back off of tour. So I know that this video is about my yoga teacher training, but I have talked about how I love dance and how I thought about getting certified in Zumba and all of these types of things. So I think that Fat Kid Dance Party is a great program, and I can't wait until she launches it. She plans on doing teacher trainings for Fat Kid Dance Party. So after I'm done with yoga teacher training, maybe I'll get certified to teach Fat Kid Dance Party instead of Zumba. I don't know, but follow Bevan. She's a sweet soul, and she has a really great quote that I love about the more neutral we can be about our body changes, the more we'll love ourselves. And I just really think that she's a smart, beautiful woman. I am Anna Chapman. She's a Body Love yoga teacher. She's located in the Portland, Oregon area. I just wish we had more yoga teachers like her all over. So she's amazing. Crazy Curvy Yoga. She's amazing as well. She's in North Carolina. She's also a registered nurse, but a curvy yoga teacher as well. Rachel Townsend, she lives in the Illinois area. She teaches yoga and she does a lot of chair poses, poses in a sling. Very accessible classes, probably even more accessible than I plan on teaching, so she is a great resource. Someone else that deserves way more followers, her name is Krista. Her username is Quartz Queen. She's a Black lady. I love my brown girls doing yoga plus size as well as Jessamine. Jessamine's our famous yoga friend. She's not my real friend, but she's famous. And last but not least, the amazing Amber Carnes. She actually created Body Positive Yoga, which it's a program that you can take, which is like an additional step in yoga teacher training if you want to learn how to make practice accessible for more bodies. So she created a separate training because it's a link that's missing in traditional training, just for that purpose.
Girlfriend, you gotta get it right. Girlfriend, you gotta learn to fight. Girlfriend, you gotta get it right. Keep your eyes on the prize. Girlfriend, you gotta get it right. You gotta want it with all your might. Girlfriend, you gotta learn to fight. I know you're gonna be alright. You wanna make your way in this crazy world. Step up, girl, you got what it takes. They always say don't make waves. Don't you listen? No. You gotta speak up, speak up. You gotta dare and speak your mind. You gotta get loud, or you'll always be behind. 'Cause girl, you gotta let them know that you mean it, you mean it.
Okay, so for what's in my yoga bag, yay! This thing is heavy, and actually something's missing out of it. It's in my car. So I have a sweat towel, which is in my car, and I also have a yoga towel, which goes on top of your yoga mat to kind of absorb any sweat that drips down so that your mat doesn't get slippery. So I usually have those in here, but my last class, I rolled them all up together. So they're all in my car right now, which I need to get them out because I need to watch it. So I have this You Can Serve container because I need to wash it out. It had my lunch in it because I went to class yesterday, and this is just what I take my lunch in. And I have an Earth Hero giveaway going on right now with these. It ends on the 26th, so if you're watching this after the 26th, the giveaway is no longer going on. But sorry, my Insta stories just started playing out of nowhere. I have a Swell bottle. Did you see that cool toss I did? It's a Swell water bottle. So I put my water in here. It stays nice and cool during class. I have my iPad because this is how I take notes during class. Sometimes I'll take a notebook, but most of the time I just use my GoodNotes app and write that way. And I do have an Apple Pencil as well, which is right here. So that's how I take notes most of the time. Sometimes I take a pencil and take notes in my book, or I'll take a little notebook, but most of the time that. So the books that are required for our school are the 4 Agreements, which looks like this. Light on Yoga is my second required book. And then the Key Poses of Yoga is one of our required books. And one that wasn't required but that I really wanted just for myself is the Key Muscles of Yoga. So I picked this one up on my own just for like my own reading, and this is kind of what they look like if you're curious. So I wanted to read both of them, because this is volume 1 and the one that was required was volume 2. So I wanted to be able to be fully knowledgeable. So I got both. And then we got The Power of Ashtanga Yoga, which is right here. Then we have our teacher training manual. Each school will have a different manual where they, you know, go through poses and things like that, but this is the manual from my particular school. I also have a lip balm. This one was just like a little sample from Sephora. And then I have this tiny little deodorant for after we practice, because we don't have time to take a shower. We just kind of change clothes, freshen up, wipe ourselves, and then I have this little deodorant. This came in my Vegan Cuts box. It's like a tropical kind of smell. Tropical Blossom is the name of it. So just a vegan deodorant, and I do have a link to Vegan Cuts down below too if you want that. It doesn't matter to me. And then I have 2 hair ties, just in case. You never know when a hair tie might pop. What is in this pocket? Ooh, what is this? Huh, what is this? Oh, this is some lavender balm, and this is a breath spray. It's in a little glass container. It looks kind of weird. People think it's perfume, but it's breath spray, just in case my lunch is a little bit stinky that day. And an extra camera battery, because sometimes I take my vlogging camera. Haven't vlogged yet because getting the consent from 35 people, you know. But I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions about my yoga teacher training, about things you might want to see about yoga modifications you'd like me to show on my channel, put all of that down below. I'm super excited for this journey. It's an 11-month journey, so buckle in. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, remember to keep an open mind, keep an open heart. I don't know why I'm wearing my robe like Hugh Hefner. Practice unconditional compassion, but don't take shit from anyone. I love you guys endlessly, and I hope you love yourselves even more. I'll talk to you really, really soon. Bye.